Welcome back to the Twist Takes Podcast, episode 19. We have now passed the first round in both the NHL and the the NBA playoffs. The MLB is still going on. The Twins finally lost, although I blame Angel Hernandez for that. So the win streak is
9-2, dude.
the win streak
9-2.
is the win streak is 13 with an asterisk. Dante, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to the draft lottery. Obviously, give me Demidov. Yeah, I'm doing good. Razor back. Razor playing well again. Josh Lowe's back. Johnny DeLuca is absolutely him, and the New Jerseys are bringing some magic. So yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Michael, how you doing?
On the topic of the jerseys bringing magic, that was my mortal lock, by the way. Ray's first game in the new unis would win, and they did. Other than that, though, Cats looked pretty ugly last night. I mean, I should say Aaron Ekblad looked ugly last night, to be completely
Just
honest.
atrocious.
I mean, it was awful. But he's proven
They're still favored.
Yeah, they are still favored, and a lot of people like in their predictions did say like, yeah, first game off of a long, stretch of being off. Bruins riding the high of a Game 7 overtime victory. I think the fatigue will set in, and I think that they'll pull it off still, but definitely not like a good thing being down 1-0. But
Yeah, I thought I saw in Hard Rock they were now the lowest odds to win the Eastern Conference.
Yes, they did jump down, which just doesn't make sense. If they're minus 125 to win the series, why are they lowest odds to win the conference?
Sounds like
Yeah.
value. Sounds like we're gonna take Hard Rock to
Yeah,
value now.
I should have waited to place my bet. Bang.
they were still like plus 300 something to get out of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
they're
that's out of the four
325.
teams, that's the lowest.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I don't know. It's not ideal, but it's the playoffs, and it's if they're unable to respond to being down 1-0, then they probably don't deserve the cup anyway. So
Mhm.
um, we're gonna see it out. We're gonna see it
And no
out.
more music for you. No more music for you, Michael.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Orlando
yeah,
Magic.
yeah. The Magic. I forgot that was. I mean, them blowing that lead was just so ugly, and one of my coworkers is a huge Cavs fan, so I've just been eating shit from him all week.
Oh, you've been eating his shit? That's
Damn.
scrumptious.
Yeah,
Mm.
I've been munching on his
Feces.
feces all week. But anyway, it's whatever.
It's probably common in Cleveland to do that.
Yeah, that's a very Cleveland thing to do, but no, it's fine. Their three best players are younger than 22 years old, so I'm not really worried about it.
And Payne, how you doing?
Not good, bro. If you would have just told me we were Jaden McDaniels away from beating the fucking Nuggets, then that would have been. I mean, Anthony Edwards literally knows ball, bro. He was like, they got Kevin Durant. Yeah, we got Jaden McDaniels. Like that's literally all it is. He was Kevin Durant kryptonite. Now he's Jamal Murray kryptonite. Like I said earlier, that Jamal Murray was the reason behind that team and how far they were going to go. And he played like shit the first two games, so they lost the first two games. The Angels suck, but that's good because maybe we will finally sell and rebuild, maybe, and then maybe Artie will have a medical emergency. Please,
Damn.
Lord.
Damn.
But the Packers are the Packers, so I can be happy about that at least.
Damn. All right. Yeah. Already having a medical emergency is extreme. I for your sake hope he just simply sells the team, and
Well, but he won't.
that.
So we have come to these conclusions now that he needs to have a medical emergency.
So desperate times come to desperate measures.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand.
Like, bro, Steve Ballmer wanted to buy us. Stan Kroenke wanted to buy us. Mark Cuban wanted to buy us, but no, we're stuck with Artie.
Are we sure Mark Cuban really wanted to buy the Angels,
Yes,
or was that just some rumor?
No, that is a pretty well confirmed rumor. And but no, Artie was like, "Oh, I'm not getting the value I wanted." Bro, you paid $200 million for them and they were valuated at almost 7 billion. Just sell the fucking team.
Take your bag and get the fuck out of town.
That is value. In 20 years, that is value.
Agreed.
Speaking of Anthony Edwards, I got the jersey on. Usually I'm cursed for my jerseys, but since I've gotten it, I got it before the Nuggets Timberwolves series, so they were 2-0 with it on. Michael, I apologize. I did wear the Panthers jersey last night. But I have been wearing it, so it's not like it just started the curse. But let's talk about NBA. So we'll start with that series. That one's the farthest one along so far. The Timberwolves, no pun intended, are dogging the Nuggets.
I think the pun was absolutely intended. There are a lot of other adjectives you could have used. I think the pun was definitely intended.
Okay, I'll think they're eating up on those Nuggets.
Wow, Ryan, you're so funny, bro.
Boo!
Cash found that unamusing.
They are cooking though. I mean,
they are cooking.
They're not even cooking on offense. They are just cooking on defense.
The defense is crazy.
Yeah. Well, we knew without Rudy.
Yeah, we knew the defense.
Shout out Rudy for having a kid.
And shout out Rudy for his kid. Gilbert Arenas said the dumbest shit of all time. He was like, "Rudy, I don't know why you missed the game too, bro. That kid will be there when you get done." Like if I would have said that, my girlfriend would just have left me immediately.
Sounds like a man who's never had a family. Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect even more that this baby was born 9 months after he said, and I quote, "I feel like I lost my virginity after hitting his first career 3-pointer." Even more respect for that.
He had a 3-pointer and a home run in the same evening.
Yep.
Do you think it's the same? Like, because I know Scheffler said he was like, "Oh, I'd leave the Masters if my wife goes into labor." Like, it's game 2 of the second round. Do you think he does this for like a game 7 or even like a finals game? Does he not play?
Speculation will not answer.
I would.
You would play or would leave?
I would go to watch my kid be born.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the end, it's like, yes, sports. I feel like the sports are more important to us as fans than they really are to the players.
Yeah,
that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the outcome itself, but obviously it's their livelihood.
As a fan, I wouldn't want to see Mike Trout. I mean, we're never going to make the World Series with him anyways, but I would not like to see Mike Trout miss Game 7 of the World Series. But as a family man, I would understand exactly why you're doing it. I mean, I would skip work to go to my baby's birth. You know, it's the same thing, just getting paid a lot more to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of babies being born right now for these sports players.
Yeah, brother, they were eliminated about 9 months ago.
Well, I'm talking about also for hockey. Because this was a quote that came out of Buffalo or out of Boston. I don't know if you've seen this yet. We were flipping her around, putting her upside down, whatever we could to get that baby out of there. Brandon Carlo.
Yeah, but Brandon Carlo's irrelevant. Who gives a shit if he's not playing? Well, I guess he scored.
He scored.
I guess he scored yesterday.
Doesn't count. He assaulted his wife.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like domestic violence. I think he should be investigated.
I think the Nuggets can still steal a game, so I'd probably say the thing is Jamal Murray should be suspended at least one game.
Why?
So he threw a heat pad onto the court while they were playing and almost.
No, I saw that. But why?
But I mean, like, what? We're just gonna allow people to throw stuff onto the court? Like,
did he hurt somebody?
No, but that's like dangerous. Okay, there's people that have gotten technicals for throwing shoes off of the court to get them out of the way of play.
Oh man!
So why?
It's the same as a suspension. Yes, Ryan. Same conversation. Yep.
And also not to mention, you're taking a guy out of a play. What's the diff? And listen, I'm not saying what he did was right, and he definitely deserves a fine and deserved a technical, but But what's the difference between like if someone were to slip on that versus like sometimes when the floor gets wet and people start slipping on that?
But he threw something like that is completely different.
But
Yes,
Ryan,
someone
did
can
he
still
throw it
fall.
at someone or did he throw it just on the court?
I mean, in the middle of play.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who he was throwing it at. That's what doesn't make sense.
Well, if they can't prove he had malicious intent at throwing it at someone, then he won't ever be suspended. Like that won't even be in the conversation.
Well, I'm not. Well, I'm more saying because that's what everyone else is saying. Like, I'm not even on Timberwolves Twitter. I'm really more just on NBA Twitter. So
That
I
is
thought
a
it was just.
follower, not a leader.
Well, I mean, I'm not really on Twitter for any of my teams. Like, other than I'd probably say maybe Wild Twitter. I follow Wild accounts, but um, I just see a lot of other NBA people saying like that's just like an auto suspension.
No,
Um,
Twitter is by far the most unintelligent sports Twitter of all time.
They're all unintelligent. I don't find it. I find like an average of 4 brain cells per person that has a large following.
Well, yeah, that's just because they say dumb stuff, and that's how they get followers.
Yeah, that's how they get clicks. Yeah, I don't. In all seriousness, I could see it going either way. I wouldn't suspend him for a playoff game for doing that personally, but I mean, I see the point where like
Suspend him
yes, I
game
guess
one
someone's
of
gonna
next
eat
year.
shit.
Game one of next year, suspend him.
Yeah, that'd be more fitting.
it's just crazy how I think eventually Aaron Gordon got a technical last night, but the refs just were not giving them out. Like the Nuggets coach was screaming in the ref's face in the middle of the ran onto the court and
he does
screamed in
that
the
all
ref's
the
face.
time. He does that all the time. He's a
But
bum.
isn't that like
Dan
I also
Hurley
thought that's an
type
auto
beat.
tech.
I mean, would you rather the refs be soft? I'd rather that be going
I
on.
mean, if he's staying on his side of the court and screaming, I think that the coach until he crosses a certain line. But if the coach runs onto the court and is putting his like hand and finger in the ref's face, I think that's a tech. I
College
think
would do the same thing, though.
like
They should suspend Tom Wilson for that.
All right, time to suspend
now
Draymond.
the-
Yeah, the Tom Wilson of the NBA. They should suspend Draymond Green for that.
Suspend
now-
Draymond Green.
that's another story I want to bring up. So did you all see Pat Bev chucking a basketball at fans?
Yeah,
Pat Bev is a bum.
That should be
yeah,
half a
he
year.
is.
So he does that. Then he goes to the locker room, and when someone asks him a question, he says, "I'm not answering your question unless you're subscribed to my podcast."
Which you're
I
allowed.
mean,
No one wants to hear Patrick Beverly talk.
This
No one
podcast
wants to
but
hear
then
us talk.
Draymond Green started calling him out for being like unclassy and like putting a
Bro.
bad face. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I mean, when Draymond
Green
Green's
is trying to
Pat
be the
Bev's
high man here.
podcast is good, though. His podcast is good, though.
No, but
I
he
mean, he's
talks about
probably
being
funny.
like a classy basketball player. And that's like, come on.
Okay, so I just don't understand, like, if he doesn't get anything under like half a year, I think it would be crazy. Like, I just think like
For him throwing the basketball?
yes, dude, I think as a professional, like for you to do some shit like that, like that's like the worst. Like, I mean, first of all, that fan could like sue. It's not like, oh, there was a hard heat of the
Why could they
moment
sue?
basketball play.
Why could they sue?
What? Because they got a ball thrown at them by a player of the organization?
Dude, that doesn't mean you could sue. Marcus Smart punched a fan in college.
Yeah, that. And also,
I
think,
bet
how many
that fan
games
could have
did
sued.
Rendon get? How many games did Rendon get for that incident?
3.
Yeah, he got 3 games for what did
Punching
he do
a fan.
exactly? Yeah, punching a
He
fan.
pulled
You're
a
not going
fan
to
by
get.
his shirt and slapped him across the face.
Which, to be fair, was warranted because he was talking on his like what was it, like his sick kid or something. It was
Yeah, but
bad.
I mean, the same shit. Like fans can't go to games and just expect to talk crazy to grown ass men and for the grown ass men to not respond.
I'd have to
mean?
see
You
the
could do
full
that in
clip.
Responding is one
public.
thing. Physical contact is another. But if Rendon
Yeah.
only got 3 games, I'm sorry, Pat Bev isn't getting more than like 1 or
Okay,
2.
first of all, it's 2 different leagues. But second of all, that is absolutely true, Peyton. If you're in public, you can talk shit to people, and if they just swing on you, you could definitely sue for that.
Yeah, but then they could countersue you for being like provocative and having.
No, I mean, you really can't because there's no proof of that unless you have either witnesses or someone
There's
recorded
people
it.
on YouTube that will literally film themselves talking shit to people with the hopes that they start swinging just so they can sue them. Like it's like a trend.
Yes, but filming themselves doing that is really stupid because then they could just use that as evidence against them.
But you can't assault someone for if there's no expected. I mean, fuck, it's not going to turn this into a law thing. But you're not going to you can't just assault someone without having any kind of like reasonable belief that your life is in danger.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
just saying, are we going to start talking about the
But you
games at any
also
point?
can't. But you also can't just walk up to random people and like point at them in the face and be like, "Hey, buddy, fuck you. You're a fucking bum."
Fucking pipsqueak.
I mean, but
Easy
you
pickings.
can like you can't threaten them, but you
No,
can talk shit.
The freedom of speech is actually has some sort of limitations, like when it comes.
Right, but
Of
it's
course
not
it does.
it's
Like
not
hate
heckling
speech
basketball players. It's like threatening to like shoot them. Maybe like that would
I
be
mean, also we can just go on the standpoint that Pat Bev didn't have to throw a basketball at them. He could have just talked back.
Well, no, yeah, that's correct, but I don't think. I mean, the girl came on Twitter after and was like, "Oh, I feel so humbled that Pat Bev and the Bucks both apologized to me. Like, I don't think anything's going to come of it."
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of the team that eliminated the Bucks, the Pacers had an interesting game last night. I didn't get to watch it because I was at work. Some people were bitching about the refs. I didn't really see anything I thought was bad.
Towards the end, there was some questionable calls, like I think in favor of the Knicks. Like that's what I kept saying. The Knicks would turn over the ball and then have something like either fluky go their way that helped them out, or the refs would kind of give them a call. The last call there on the offensive foul is kind of tough because yes, I think DiVincenzo did flop, and that's a tough way to end the game to kind of ice it. But
Yeah, I mean
Well,
it's the same
flopping's
thing
a
as
tech now, isn't it?
the Caitlin Clark
yeah,
thing.
so but that's what.
Flop warning first, and then they start handing out texts.
But they didn't. They think he flopped on like because he got picked and.
But the flop, it's really hard to actually know when a flop warning is even issued. Like if you can't see the refs at all times, you won't even know if they are issued because they don't
There's
like
also-
they just walk by the scores table and they do that, and that's a flop warning.
But I don't know how that works because like when I think of flop, I think of like when a basketball player like fakes getting hit or like makes it like if it's a light touch. But the offensive foul that he got was for like a moving pick. Like yes, he flopped to make it more obvious that he was hit by a moving pick, but the flop didn't cause the moving pick to be called. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
well that doesn't really
happens
make
all the time
sense.
in NBA too. So
Well,
like
think
dudes
about
get a
hockey.
shoulder in their chest and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah. Think about in hockey how sometimes you'll see one guy will get a tripping penalty and another guy will get an embellishment. It's just you have to just let the natural actions of the play take course. You can't exaggerate your movements to try to sell a call. I think it's kind of the same way.
But the NBA is soft, so
Yeah, of
The
course.
shot
Yeah.
clock violation I thought was terrible. I don't know if you guys saw that one on Halliburton.
No, well, Halliburton he just didn't have his game, and that's why, like, obviously losing game one sucks, but if they can still get out of New York 1-1, that was kind of what I was expecting anyway. And if they're in that game till the end, and their best player didn't have a good game, I still feel like the Pacers have a chance. I'm still gonna say Knicks in 6, but it's far from over just because one game.
Halliburton really hasn't had his playoff. Like I just feel like as
He had
wasn't
some good
great
games
coming
against
back from his
Milwaukee.
injury, though. Like first half of the season, Halliburton, I was like, this guy might be a top 2 point guard in the league. But after that injury, he just hasn't gotten back to how he was the first half of the season, which is sad.
I mean,
that was fun to watch. That was
he
fun.
was fun. Well, it was fun when he was hitting every three. I mean, that was the difference. Was
His
he was
ugly
an
ass
elite
shot.
Yeah, his broken ass jump shot was elite in the first half of the year, not so much in the second. I still thought he had some really good games against Milwaukee, but
I just feel like
I
it should
agree. It's
like
been up and
the
down.
guy who's supposed to be your best player should be putting up more than like single digit points night in, night out. Like
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. He definitely should be. But the thing with the Pacers and their draw is that they have so much depth That they don't need him to do what Jalen Brunson's doing or what Anthony Edwards is doing for them to be successful. They have so many guys that can score. I think they probably have like 8 or 9 different guys that have scored 20 plus for him this year.
Any other
Another
NBA
team,
talk?
yeah, another team I want to talk about was the Clippers because they just got eliminated, and Kawhi Leonard has requested for a trade.
Pacers, please, God, they need a
Shocking.
defensive wing. Please
Yeah,
do it.
no, they need someone to be riding their bench during playoff time or taking up
Well,
payroll
okay,
for
to be
the
fair,
sitting
I would
around.
rather the Pacers
Bro
trade
calls
for,
Anthony
for
Davis
Jimmy
street
Butler.
clothes and then is begging for Kawhi Leonard to be on his team.
Wait, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
I said you call Anthony Davis street clothes and then you're begging for Kawhi Leonard to be on your team.
Well, that's just debate you.
No, but I mean that's people on Twitter actually still call him that, and then they're like, "Oh, you realize he's played like 100 more games in the last 4 seasons than Kawhi Leonard?" And they're like, "Oh,
He is still street clothes, but Kawhi Leonard's also street clothes.
Yeah, okay.
Kawhi Leonard should
Again,
be
let
like
me
hospital
reiterate.
clothes."
I would rather the Pacers acquire Jimmy Butler than Kawhi Leonard. But I would like either.
Yeah,
Either would be
Kawhi's
good.
better. Kawhi's better when he's on the court, but Jimmy is more readily available.
Also,
Yeah,
Jimmy
Clippers
just
suck.
wins in the playoffs, man. Like I know this year was a little different because but honestly the rest of the team was worse.
Ooh,
But I mean,
playoff Jimmy has how many rings?
MJ's the GOAT.
Where did that
yeah,
come from?
Playoff Jimmy has how many rings?
but that doesn't matter because that team is not built to win. That
Who
team
just
is
said
not built to
MJ's the
win.
Oh.
GOAT?
Oh, my bad.
Jimmy Butler has brought the bubble heat to the finals. He brought.
Oh, so that argument works with Jimmy Butler, but not LeBron James. I get it.
I only call it a Mickey Mouse ring to troll you. I'm a Wraith fan.
No.
I'm not going to talk down on the bubble.
I'm not talking about the bubble one. I'm talking about LeBron taking the shit ass Cavs and getting losses in the finals.
Oh, I mean, I can attest. I've said that's one of the greatest single season playoff performances of all time by LeBron. I can fully attest to that. Although the East, I do think was worse then, but even still, that team was buns.
I agree that Jimmy Butler is on par with LeBron James. I think that's what I'm getting out of this whole
all you're
conversation.
doing, you're dragging LeBron into Jimmy Butler conversation. So
I'm just saying, but your argument, you could pick and choose. You use it for Jimmy, but against the GOAT.
when have I ever used it against LeBron? When did I ever say the 06-07 run by LeBron was not anything short of incredible?
I'm not saying just you, but I'm saying
But I'm the one talking.
Twitter, all the NBA fans are like, "Oh, Jimmy Butler is so good in the playoffs." That brother has 0 rings.
Yeah, but he brought an 8 seed to the finals. We're yawning over bringing an 8 seed to the finals.
Yes.
All right, do you, man? I would like to see Jimmy Butler actually play with some. I mean, Bam's good. Bam's good, but I do think that Jimmy Butler would bring the Pacers to another level.
What about the Mexican
Thickums at the point guard?
king?
Yeah,
Amy
Yame
Jaquez.
Jaquez,
And what about Thickums at point guard?
Tyler
Thickums.
Hero.
What?
No, that's
Well,
Kyle Lowry.
No, I'm not saying I wasn't. No, I was already going to say Tyler Hero before you said Thickums.
Oh,
They got Jack Harlow out there.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's all. I mean, what other? I mean, I just saw the Celtics.
One last thing. Well, Celtics, they're winning in 4.
They're minus 3,000 to win the
that's just
series.
stupid.
Who do they have? The Cavs?
The Cavs.
I saw you bring the receipts up on Michael today, Dante.
Yeah.
There's long and far for that October 21st.
I forgot that this was like not a podcast convo.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah, because it was pre podcast. Don't
What
we
was
have?
the bet though? You said the bet was like 15 points and like 12 rebounds or something a game he wouldn't average.
No,
I don't remember.
I thought it was 20 and 10. I'm not sure. It was something like that. I honestly don't remember. But what I do know is that Michael was calling for Wembenyama to be a bust and saying that Chet was going to win Rookie of the Year.
He's going to get injured and he'll still be a bust. Just wait. He's
moving
made of glass.
Moving the goalposts.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you were so adamant that Wembenyama was going to not be good. Like
I'm surprised I didn't.
what do you have to say? What do you have to say about that?
It's not that I
just
don't
curious.
think he's going to be good. I just think he's going to have injury issues his whole career and not live up to the hype.
Yeah, but what if he
Dude,
turns
you
into like
called him a
what if he
bust
gets that
after
Giannis
4
build after
games.
a few years
Yeah,
after
what if
being
he
that
puts on
NBA
more weight?
workload? Yeah,
Wait, what'd you say?
like he's
Like
gonna get.
if he puts on like Giannis weight, like Giannis looked like that when he came into the league too.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be pretty
So did Kevin
scary.
Durant. He still kind of does, but a
Kevin
little
But
bit.
Kevin
I think
Durant,
also could do
but I would
one-
argue that Kevin Durant has not lived up to his level of hype because of injuries.
What?
What? Dude, seriously, we
He is
gotta
the
have this
best
guy
scorer
stop
of
talking
all
about
time.
NBA.
He is the best scorer of all time.
I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment, but I feel like his
So you're
trophy
the
case is a
best.
lot smaller
So
than
you're
it
the
could be.
best scorer of all time, but haven't lived up to your potential.
I think that he could have been the GOAT, and I think that his trophy case is a lot smaller than it could have been. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, he was picked second overall. He wasn't even the first overall pick.
Yeah.
What do you mean hasn't lived up to his
No,
potential?
but I'm not saying no. I think you're mistaking me. Like I'm not saying that he hasn't lived up to the hype. I'm saying that he hasn't lived up to his full potential as the greatest scorer of all time.
So you're telling me if Victor Wembanyama had Kevin Durant's career that you would say he was a bust?
I don't know if I'd call him a bust, but I would say that
The fact that that's even in the cards for you is just kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie.
I just think that Kevin Durant, like if you look at his trophy case, what does he have in there? He has his ring that he won because of Steph Curry.
Oh,
He's
because
got
of Steph Curry, who won the Finals MVP?
Yeah, no, I know. But he joined the super team. I'm just
Oh
salty
yeah.
because I wanted I'm salty because I wanted to see that Oklahoma City team win one while they were
Me
together.
too. That would
Yeah,
have been.
so did I, but they lost to LeBron, and it's unfortunate. It's like when all the other good Western Conference teams in the Jordan era would look great and then lose to Jordan. It's the same thing. They ran into the same brick wall that is LeBron. It
But
stinks, but that's just the reality.
okay, but at the end of the day, when you look at Kevin Durant's trophy case, what does he have? One ring, one Finals
An
MVP,
MVP,
one
an M
MVP.
an
A lot
MVP
of
where
scoring titles.
a
Did you
lot of
say
scoring titles,
does he
a
have a
lot of
lot of
first
scoring?
team,
How
a
many
lot of
scoring
first
titles
team All
how many scoring
NBAs.
titles does he have?
He's got. I'm sure he's probably got the most as an active player in the NBA right now.
Probably.
For him or Harden, and Harden's I don't even count because he's just a free throw merchant.
Yeah, I mean, how many first team NBAs does this guy probably have? I mean, probably double digits almost at this
I mean,
point.
yeah, so he's got one MVP. He's led the league
Oh,
in
lottery's on.
Lottery.
average points.
Yeah,
Average points 4
yeah
times.
that's what they give, like the leading scorer to.
Yeah, it's not like hockey where they do total points. They do it by average as long as you're qualified.
Okay, so he has 4 scoring titles then.
That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive.
Get
Don't get me
ready.
wrong.
The most out of any active player, though, right?
I have no idea. I mean, I
Hold
would
on.
assume so.
12.
Harden would be close.
Don't
12.
spoil. Don't spoil. Sorry, we're watching
The only
the
person I
lottery.
could think of that
Not
might be
spoiling.
close, James Harden might have 2.
That's what I said. I said Harden.
Oh. But I don't know, like for someone who averages 27.3 in their career, to me, 4 scoring titles, an MVP, 1 ring, and 1 finals MVP, like for a guy of his caliber is like I don't think it's crazy to say that his injury or his career is not as good as it could have been because of injuries.
Well, sure. But if you had the second pick in the NBA draft and you knew you would get a career like that, would you not take that player every single time and twice on Sunday?
At 2, yes, but Wembanyama went 1 unanimously. And if that happened, I would say that's a pretty average career for what he was expected to do. 4 scoring
You
titles,
think
1
that's
ring.
an average career?
4 scoring titles and 1 ring to me is if you told me that Wembanyama had 4 scoring titles and 1 ring at the end of his career, I would say okay, that's great, but that's not
So what I'm hearing is you believe that he has to exceed his expectations in order to meet his expectations.
No, I just think that I wouldn't look at that. I wouldn't look at that and think, wow, that's generational. Like when I look at Kevin Durant, I think he's generational because of his talent, but his accolades don't stack up to how good that I think he could.
Yeah, nobody's saying he's the GOAT, but we're saying he's just the most talented scorer.
Yeah,
ever.
hold on. Yeah, why does that work for Kevin Durant, but not for a 7'4" center that also dribbles the ball and can shoot threes?
I mean, I'm just saying Kevin Durant
I
wasn't a
feel like you're
unanimous.
moving the goalposts between the players.
No,
here.
I'm just saying Kevin Durant wasn't a unanimous first overall pick.
Yeah, that's because they had Greg Oden in that class. I mean, he would have been nasty if his injuries didn't happen.
Holy
Listen,
shit!
I still think, like, I know that no one's putting Kevin Durant in the GOAT conversation, but I genuinely think that his ability to play basketball would warrant him being in the GOAT conversation if he didn't have so many injuries. If he didn't have so many injuries, I think he could have maybe ended his career with like 7 or 8 scoring titles. Honestly.
All right, let's carry on to hockey. The draft lottery's on.
Yep. Utah did
Flyers
not get the first pick, Michael. They
Flyers
stayed
did
in the same
not move
spot.
up. So far, it's gone exactly according to the order.
So what pick are you guys at? Because I don't have it
I'm
on.
at 5.
Yeah,
Right.
they're doing the top 5.
And no
or
one's
top
moved?
4.
No one's moved. No.
Have the Blackhawks been picked?
Ducks? So the Ducks are in the top 5 or no?
So yes,
Ducks are in the
Columbus
top
is right
4,
now.
yes.
Yeah, they can still move though. So 4, 3, 2, and 1 haven't been announced yet.
So who's 4, 3, 2, and 1?
Columbus, Ducks, Blackhawks, Sharks.
The Blackhawks are 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blackhawks are 2, Sharks are 1.
They were still horrible this year because they had Bedard half the year. Plus, he wasn't even that good. He's not even going to win the Calder.
Bust.
Ryan,
Speaking
I'll
of a
bet
bust.
you $50 even odds right now that Bedard
I know
wins
he's
the
not
Calder.
going to win the Calder, dude. Or I know he is going to win the Calder. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. You just said he wasn't, so that was kind of confusing. You know.
Yeah. I'm
You
sorry.
could
I
understand.
should only
All
wait
right,
to base how much
Columbus
as a
gets
Blackhawks fan.
4. So Anaheim is 3 this year. So Anaheim, San Jose, and Chicago are left. I swear to God, if Chicago gets this, I'm gonna be.
While we're waiting for this, before we start talking about hockey, I have a quick stat. I was teasing Dante about it before. There are 5 current NHL teams that have yet to play a NHL hockey game in the month of June. It's the Seattle Kraken, which makes sense. They're only
Flyers.
nope.
I already know one of them.
Okay,
And it's
Seattle
hilarious.
Kraken, which makes sense. They're only like 3 years old. The Columbus Blue Jackets, also a fairly young team, haven't been doing too well. The Utah team, previously Arizona Coyotes. The Poverty Wild, they've not played in the month of June yet. And the Toronto Maple Leafs. They
Oh
have
yeah,
yet
that
to
makes sense.
play a hockey game
Saw that.
in June. With
It's
how many
crazy.
Stanley Cups?
Well,
11?
yeah, with
I
a
mean,
lot of
since there's been what, more than 12 teams, like 0. I mean, I don't really have much for hockey because I feel like, I mean, all that I've really watched so far is the Panthers game. I mean, I guess the Hurricanes played. I think that both of those game ones are not irrelevant to the series, but I don't really think either of those series, it's like, holy shit, it's over.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
But round of applause. The Knights are no longer in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Shout out Stars.
I was electric.
Shout out
whenever
Stars.
That's a
that
win
game
for
finished.
everyone.
Yeah.
That is a win for
I
all
loved all the
hockey
memes where
fans.
they took the Lamar or the Kendrick, is his name Lamar? Yeah, Kendrick Lamar's line where he's like, "I hate the way you walk, I hate the way that you talk," and they put the
Did you
Vegas
just
logo on
ask
top.
if Kendrick's last name was
Well, no,
Lamar?
because I whenever I think of Lamar, I think of Lamar Jackson. I was like, "That's no way it's his name," but then it is every time.
Okay.
Yeah, I still like obviously the Predators were eliminated from my final 4, but I like Stars, Oilers, and I like Panthers. I'm gonna switch from Hurricanes to Rangers. Obviously, I can't in
Um,
my real bracket, but
so
I think the Rangers will move on.
Peyton, I don't know if you saw me send it because I think you have the group chat muted that I sent it in. So I won $970 this weekend on golf. I clutched it up, got very lucky. So now I have $500 on the Florida Panthers to make the Stanley Cup Finals.
What odds?
Plus 230, I think. I'd win another 1,500. Or I'd win
You
another 1,000. Like
you
1,000.
you feel confident about it?
Well, I feel good about it. Like I wouldn't place it if I didn't like it, but I was already so the whole reason I was betting like this to make something like $970 on a parlay was to pay for the Stanley Cup tickets. So it's basically $950 profit, say. I was already going to spend it on playoff tickets only if the Panthers make the Stanley Cup Finals. So now I either lose $500 if they don't make it, which I was already planning to spend my profit on the tickets, or I just make more money and spend it on the Stanley Cup playoff tickets.
All right, let's see. I know, Ryan, you're a little behind, so I'll go based on your TV. Number 3,
Ducks.
the Ducks.
Oh, this is screaming Blackhawks.
Dude, this can't happen. This can't happen. This league is so unbelievably rigged. All right. They just showed the one card on my. They didn't show the team, but they showed one. I'm not gonna look. Number
It's the
1.
fucking Blackhawks, dude.
Michael, shut up so I can see the TV. Ryan, talk.
Hey, the
Thank
Sharks.
God.
There we go.
Let's
Boring
go.
draft lottery and 10 minutes wasted my life.
Yep. Unfortunately, the Flyers did not move up for Demidov, but they could still move up in the draft. Maybe try.
Wait,
to
I'm
take
sorry.
again.
What?
So hold on.
Why
it
did they
just
have?
went in perfect order.
Did you just see that they showed a video of like an Anaheim camera, but it was all San Jose Sharks fans like celebrating.
Well, I just can't. Is this the first time it's ever been like perfect order?
Well, it may be. Well, no, even if it wasn't before they had the new rules, it'd kind of be the same. I don't know. Did they change the probabilities when they changed the rules or no?
I mean, in itself, they slightly changed because they were doing one less spot.
Yeah. So maybe it's happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah, really not much about hockey. I mean, I like the Oilers to move on against the Canucks. Me and Michael placed that bet, Oilers to win. I really like the Rangers. Speaking on the Rangers this whole time.
Yeah,
I can
I
see
think
Oilers Rangers Stanley Cup final.
I still like Stars Cats. I still like Stars over Cats.
I have something for soccer. I
Oh
know
my
you guys
god.
probably don't give a shit, but Borussia Dortmund did just upset PSG.
Oh, brother, this guy.
two times. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be playing Real Madrid in the final. Well, they're either playing Real Madrid or Bayern. So it's going to be a very good Champions League final. Either Real Madrid and Jude Bellingham are going to play his old club, or it's going to be, East versus West Germany.
Big Dortmund fan. How you feeling today, Michael?
I mean, dude, it's crazy. Like the team is not like. I mean, they're okay. They're like a fine team, but they should not be beating PSG 2 times in a row. Like,
no Haaland, no Bellingham.
No, I mean, and even like a lot of their like good young talent are like not really like haven't really cracked the roster yet. Like a lot.
Who was that one like 16-year-old kid they had?
Malcoco. He's
yeah.
Are you like Wander?
I said 16, not 14.
All right, sorry, Josh Kitty.
There you go. That
BBL Giddy. BBL Giddy.
Oh my god, dude. Holy shit.
And also Ryan and I cooked on horses. So fuck you all.
Me?
Hey,
fuck me.
Do you care?
No, not you, Ryan.
Not really, no. I'm just kind of chilling.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to MLB because I have an actual question because we just brought up Wander. Since the Twins have been so hot, I've been looking at power rankings every week just to make sure that the Twins are high up there and people are respecting the sausage fest that is the Twins right now. Can Wander come back?
Yes.
Okay.
But he's having his trial in June. Even if he was somehow found innocent, he would probably get suspended like 200 some games by the MLB.
And it doesn't matter if he's found innocent; he'll never play another baseball game in his life.
Yeah, but the question was could, and yeah, of course he could.
If he does and Bauer doesn't, it's so fucked.
I agree.
Yeah, it's completely fucked. I will say
I would stop watching the MLB if that happened.
I will say the one drastic difference. Well, there are two drastic differences. One is Wander's crime was worse than Bauer's, and
Consensual
two,
rough sex is not a crime.
yeah, well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is
Accused crime.
Wander's crime was obviously worse, but two, the other thing is, and I think something that I think is actually the primary reason why Bauer's not back in the MLB. I've heard so many people just hate him. So many people just like before anything even happened, just hated Trevor Bauer.
That's because he worked harder than everybody else. Because he was just not talented. So he had to
I
just
mean,
work harder than everybody else to get where he is. And
maybe. I mean, again,
he lets
I'm not.
people know. He just lets people know that he worked harder than them.
Yeah, but he is like hated, and Wander, for as far as I know, anyway, by his teammates, was not hated.
Well,
But he's also a pitcher. Like, what is him like? I understand it if you're not like what's the word? Like if it's like a team sport like football and you're working as a unit, but like I mean the pitcher really only works with the catcher realistically.
Well, yeah, and all Bauer's had some antics where he'll throw the ball over the wall when the coach comes to
it's
when
impressive.
manager comes to take him out, which is honestly it's very impressive. I mean, dude's got a rocket of an arm. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I at least mentally, I've approached it as Wander's never coming back. Carson Williams is going to be the shortstop of the future, and that's just kind of the end of the
No shot they
story.
do Caminero at short.
Well, I mean, maybe temporarily, but if Carson Williams and Caminero are both in the majors, why would you play Caminero at short? When Carson Williams has above average glove
Well, I was
and
just thinking
arm.
about like, isn't Curtis Mead a third baseman? I thought he was a third.
No,
He's
Curtis Mead. As far as I'm concerned, I'm also going about it as if Curtis Mead is going to be a quadruple A player, and just I don't like his plate approach.
Maybe he'll
He's a
do Joe Adele and just decide to be good in his 5th year in the MLB.
That's fine, but the difference is the Angels didn't have a ton of outfield depth, so they could afford to keep giving him shots. The Rays have too much farm infield depth, and they're not just going to keep turning to Carson Williams or to Curtis Mead with the amount of guys they have in the system. He's probably got a couple. I know he's so young. He's gonna have a couple more shots, but they got a lot of other guys there that if he doesn't really impress, I don't see how he's gonna crack it. But who cares? Because they have the best city connects in the league. I mean, Washington is up there, but they're getting rid of theirs. So they have.
I do not like Washington's.
I like I don't know. I like the concept of it. I think the letters look kind of stupid,
I
but I
also
like
like the idea of it, but in execution,
I like the jerseys that still look like baseball jerseys, but like actually connect with the city. That's like
Yeah.
the Rays.
Kansas Cities are still goated.
And that's why I also like the Angels, just because they're a cream.
The Angels one's also goated.
I mean, the only thing that's like on theirs though, that's the only thing I don't really like about them is the only difference is they really have like a fucking surfboard, and that's really it.
Yeah,
Skateboard kind of sucks. I can't lie.
Unpopular opinion. If the Tigers changed their hats, I think theirs would be top 5. I actually really like the jerseys.
I would give the Rays the number 1 spot if they didn't wear the colored pants.
But you give who?
The Rays. Like, I don't like gray and black baseball pants.
That's fair.
I just don't think it looks good.
That's fair. It's a preference thing. I think.
Oh, I
kind of think it looks sleek. You don't like the Motor City. I don't know. I think the jerseys are cool. I think the hats are really stupid.
The Rockies ones are fucking cool too.
The Rockies ones are sweet.
Mets are garbage.
Yeah, the Mets ones are hideous. The Dodgers ones weren't. I didn't like that. They just look like they're regular.
They're lame. They suck.
They did nothing. But yeah, I think.
I mean, what were they going to do for the city of LA though? Like put a crackhead on the uniform or something? Maybe some needles in the.
Well, they should put all of the poor Hispanic folk that they made homeless to build their stadium.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they should honor them in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the City Connect Magic is nice. How about the Phillies? How about the Philly? They've been on fire lately, and Castellanos still sucks.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm not sure how much longer they'll be ahead of the Braves, but I actually think they could give them a run for their money with all the Braves pitching injuries.
The Mariners are so back also.
Their pitching
Their
is
their
not their
their
all-time.
starting pitching is insane, man. It's just
I thought it would fall off, to be completely honest. I thought last year was kind of a fluke. I mean, it's not like they're doing that well. I mean, they're 3 games over 500, but
Their pitching staff has allowed like 22 earned runs in their last 29 games.
yeah, they've got no, it's not
starting
quite that good, but they've gone 20 straight starts without a starting pitcher allowing more than 2 earned runs,
Yeah.
which is just wild. That's even crazier. Actually, it's almost as crazy as the Pirates having 18 straight quality starts last year.
wait,
But only
Dante, did you
because that
say
was
that
the
the
Pirates.
Phillies haven't caught the Braves yet?
No, they did. I'm saying I'm
Oh.
not sure how much longer they'll be ahead of them.
Dude, they're 3 games ahead of them now.
Yeah, but it's the Braves. I mean, we all know.
Braves had to play the Dodgers too.
That is true. They just got swept, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Otani. I saw a question. Otani not pitching with the way he's hitting right now. Is he more valuable as is, or when he's doing both? I think the answer is pretty clear. But
Wait, what do you mean?
Very clear too.
like which Otani is more valuable? The Otani that hits and pitches, or this version of Otani that is the best hitter in the MLB?
I mean,
For sure.
arguably, he was the best hitter in the MLB while pitching still.
Yeah, in 2022, he was insane.
In 2022, last year he wasn't.
I mean, last year he still had like 39 home runs while pitching.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, if you only took his pitching or his hitting stats, you
I
wouldn't
would
say
take,
he's
I
good.
would take hitting and pitching.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was pretty easy too, but
I also
But I
think
will
that like
say
they're not mutually
accumulating.
exclusive. Like I think that you can have one.
Yeah, he was
And
just
the
doing a
other things.
hypothetical, like if.
Well, not being super sore from working on your pitching, and also not having to scout lineups and do like all that extra stuff does definitely make him a better um a better hitter. But yeah, I
How
would
good
take
of a
him hitting
pitcher
and
could he
pitching.
be if he just focused on pitching?
Yeah, so because that was his original. That was what he wanted to do. He
Yeah,
wanted like
when he signed with the Angels, scouts said this guy is a junior varsity level hitter, and that he should just pitch.
yeah, what a whiff on that.
You know
But
who said that? That little short tubby fuck Bob Nightingale.
oh yeah, well Bob Nightingale isn't good at his job, so I take everything he says and fade it. But I will say Otani accumulating 2 WAR over like 30 something games as a DH is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And he's still not worth the money they're paying him.
Nope.
Nope.
I
No,
don't-
no one's worth
He's worth
700.
2 million. He's worth 2 million that he's getting this year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here's the thing.
Well, yeah,
According
that's
to
a
what he's
steal.
being paid, he has to be worth basically twice as much as anyone else in the league for him to actually be worth his contract.
Yep.
The thing is, though, like that's like not a good thing for Otani that money is deferred because it like
You can't gamble.
Yeah, he's
well,
got to
no,
pay off his debts.
I'm going to put
Right.
on my financial advisor hat here for a second, but like with inflation, like the Dodgers actually like are kind of smart. I mean, I still think that 68 million a year after what 10 years is still a fuck ton, but like they are losing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I'll say 2 things. First of all, his whole thing was even the Dodgers aren't immune to payroll limitations. Where if he was making 68 mil, it might be tough to keep all the guys around him. And second of all, I think my thought process behind it was he wasn't going to get 700 million, and the only reason the Dodgers did agree to that was because of inflation, because he deferred the money, that they weren't actually going to give him $700 million up, like guaranteed in the next 10 years.
You want to know my favorite Artie quote of all time?
Let's hear it.
He's not even worth 400 million, was what he said this free agency.
And that's why Artie's an absolute buffoon. I would have given him $400 million and not even thought twice about it. I mean, Jesus, how much
He's
is
worth that
Dan
much in
making?
just the Japanese endorsements.
Yeah, exactly. You get so many merchandise sales, all the show bays, Japanese
I'm so
endorsements,
glad that the Showbays are out of the Angels fan base.
show bays. Dude, they're so annoying.
They sit on Twitter and they search the name Shohei all day long and they just spam people that talk trash. Like if somebody just went on Twitter right now and said like Shohei Otani's the most overrated player of all time, you'd have like 30 comments.
Maybe I'll try it one day. I just kind of want to like see what it's like.
I should verify my Twitter account and just start doing that to pay rent. Just start
Be-
baiting Otani Showbays.
Yeah, hey, if you ever want to buy a card, yeah, just get verified. Just start absolute click baiting the shit out of the show bays.
I don't have anything else for today, but I do want to ask if you guys watched the roast of Tom Brady.
It's
I haven't
3 hours.
watched
I've only
anything.
seen clips.
Yeah, I've watched the good clips too. That's kind of all I've done.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Aaron Hernandez. I mean, geez,
Yeah, they really buried
killed
him.
on that thing. He
I'm
got
sorry,
hung out to dry.
when he said Kevin Hart, when he turned the Tom Brady scared of Giants, that's why Kevin Hart's hosting, and then turned that into Kevin Hart's been standing on the stool that Aaron Hernandez used to kick out from under himself. It might be might be one of the greatest comedy moments of all time.
I know.
The
I
transition
like
was
the Giselle is AB's +1. That one also went
oh
hard.
that was good too. That one was really good too. I just think like the cleverness of that to transition it into that was god tier.
So was when somebody told Kim Kardashian that a lot of black men have finished in her end zone.
Same guy. It was the same guy that did the Kevin Hart one.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that guy before, but geez, he earned my respect after that. That was
Whoever that woman was that got up there and was like, I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years, but I would shoot you right in the face to suck his dick. Like, bro.
She was actually funny though. Her first,
yeah,
like the first half of her set was hilarious.
Yeah, that's real funny if you're not her boyfriend. Like
Gronk was funny not because the jokes were funny, but because Gronk is just like ironically hilarious. Like
He's
like
just the
him
way that he
thinking
was
it's a
like,
good
it just
idea
sounded
on
like
a
he was in the locker room, just like talking some gay shit. Like,
yeah, he's like Tom Brady's dick is like 3,000 miles long.
and then he was like, oh, I'm the second most hung Patriots tight end of
No,
all
that
time.
was Edelman.
Yeah,
Edelman
that was
said that
Edel.
about Gronk.
That
Yeah.
was Edelnut.
Yeah, that was. Oh, and Edelman's jokes about Belichick were funny too. The whole "do your job" skit was hilarious.
The funniest was when they would just talk about, oh, of course Tom Brady had to invite over his one black wide receiver, and it would just be Randy Moss sitting there cracking.
dude, Randy Moss's roast session was hard to watch. Like you could tell he just had no idea what the hell he was like up there for. He was like trying to make jokes, but he was just like so like I don't know, bro. It was hard delivery.
I
It was
thought it
hard
was
to
funny when
watch.
they were talking about the Gronkowski, Edelman, and Wes Welker. And then he's like, "That's a receiving core? Nah, that sounds like a law firm."
I didn't even see that one, but
Yeah.
that's actually really good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to actually sit and watch that whole thing because all the clips I saw were funny, and I like the people that are all like comedy's back because they're right. Like that was so unbelievably dark for like such a mainstream event.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up just quick because I know you all said you didn't care, but shout out Mystik Dan for winning the Kentucky Derby by a nose, by a nose. A good weekend for racing, I would say overall in all types of racing. We had the Kentucky Derby. We had Max Verstappen not win F1. Lando Norris got his first.
Lando.
Lando got his first F1 win ever, so it's not Lando no wins anymore.
I think
And
it's
then
Lando no wins.
well, yeah, his name's Lando Norris, so they say Lando no wins.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Well, that's just what they would chirp at him.
Man, you really got
And then NASCAR had the closest win ever, 0.001
Oh, I
seconds.
saw that too. That shit was crazy. It was like the scene from Cars where Lightning McQueen
Yeah,
like
that's what
tongue
the
fucks
second
the
place
finish
guy in
line.
his first interview after he's like, yeah, I should have just done a Lightning McQueen.
Yeah,
All right.
NASCAR I really don't care about, but if it would like actually a race being that close is actually kind of interesting.
Mhm.
And it was like a crazy, like there was like the cars were like rubbing up on each other and like the
Ooh.
drivers were horny for like the finish line, it was crazy, dude. It was
They were really trying to
And
finish.
then
Who
they
could
all
finish first?
finished. Yeah, then they all finished and it was great.
yeah. I mean, they
Something
edged
about
for
a
like
waffle in the
400
middle.
miles before that, so
You can watch the last 5 laps of a NASCAR race, and that's all you need to watch.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
But to be fair, you could say that about a lot of sporting events too.
it's about almost every sporting event.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
in
but like, you're not.
reality, NASCAR before that is just left turn, left turn, left turn. And I know
But
the
I'm sure there's a
people
lot of
too.
like intricacies and like the pit stops and the crashes and the overtakes that like don't give you the full story. I mean,
Yeah.
Actually, as a matter of fact,
All right. Anyone have any mortal locks or banned lists for this week? I don't think I have anyone banned. Um, my mortal lock is though, and you all are gonna love it. Max Homa, top 20. I'm not gonna do win, so I don't think that's a mortal lock. I'm gonna say top 20 at the Wells Fargo championship this weekend. His one of his pristine courses that he's won already twice at.
Breaking news: the top 20 golfer in the world might place top 20.
he
Well, I
is
mean,
not a top 20 golfer in the
it's just
world.
barely minus
did
odds.
you just say he's not a top 20 golfer in the world, Michael?
I mean,
He is.
I don't think he
Yeah,
is.
you might want
I
to
think
look
he's
that
he's
up.
he's ranked top 20, and I think that's low for him. He ended like fifth last year.
Yeah, Michael, learn golf.
He
Is this
just came
including
third.
live?
He just came third in the Masters.
Is this including live?
Yeah. Dude, the
Oh,
live guys
technically,
are
so
not.
technically, him being top 20 in the FedEx does not include Live, but I still think he's a top 20 golfer, including Live. Yes.
Okay, in this
I'm sorry.
tournament,
The
what
Masters
are
just proved that the live is just so mid.
okay, but also like last year, a lot of the live guys did really good.
I'm sorry, Dante. I just had a competition between, I already forgot Taylor Pendrith and Michael Knowles. I was sweating that in the PGA, and in the Live, I was sweating Brooks Koepka versus Cameron Smith and Tyrese Hatton. One of them has
That's
a lot.
true. But to be fair, all the top guys weren't really playing at this PGA event.
Yeah, other than Jordan Spieth, who didn't even make the cut. I mean, geez, dude, get a life.
Yeah,
Wait,
speed.
does the official world golf ranking include win live people? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Yes.
does. Homa's probably like 9th or 10th on that.
He is 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, that checks out.
Michael acted like it was a blasphemy that I said he was a top 20 golfer in the world. He's like, no, he's not.
Yeah. Michael just so quick. Oh, he's not top 20.
I just think he's I mean, he just hasn't like won anything in so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, second place is still the number one loser.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not his
when's the
fault.
last time
Scotty
he even came in
Scheffler has been on
second?
an absolute tear.
When was the last time you
Um,
were third in the Masters, buddy?
let me see. I'll look at his results.
This
Nice.
past year, I was wearing Homa's skin like a suit.
Oh, so you were a homosexual.
No. Okay, but also they have Brian Harmon ahead of him. And I don't remember the last time I heard Brian Harmon's name anywhere.
I don't know. I have no mortal locks. I don't think. Let me think. I didn't think this through. Let me see if I can think of one.
I
Nope,
have one.
got
The
nothing.
Twins still come in third place in the AL Central.
So
then-
Max Homa last year had 2 wins and 1 runner up.
What about this year?
Yeah, he's only come top 3 and top 8.
Peyton, I like that. My
Um,
mortal lock is something Guardians winning something. I don't even know who they're playing this weekend. But Guardians
what?
sweep.
Jamal
Sorry, I
Murray
need to-
fined a substantial amount, was what it just said.
Not suspended.
Not
I
suspended.
need
I don't know if this counts for this week, but my mortal lock is the Fever to win their first WNBA game with Caitlin Clark.
Oh my God. He talks about soccer and WNBA in the same podcast.
Mortal lock.
Jesus.
The Las
It's a
Vegas
mortal lock.
Aces to go back to back to back.
Yeah.
All right, he mentioned
FGC
WNBA.
win.
Is it time to wrap up?
Probably.
Here's the
Yeah.
milk from Sexy Red, though. That's a goat.
All right. Peyton.
Stay twisted, my fellow sports enjoyers.
See y'all next time.